So when it comes to the prenatal industry, I want to tell you this, the industry is failing women, period. I look at 27 prenatal companies. I want you to guess how many companies actually proved that their formulas were safe, clean, and effective. Take a guess. Three out of 27, just 3. The rest of the companies, they either ignored us, refused to show any proof of what is actually inside as far as a purity standpoint. And a lot of them hid behind this pretty packaging and influencer marketing hype. So when I tell you that 3 brands were the only brands that passed, I really mean it. 3 brands ended up being the clear-cut winners. If my partner were to get pregnant right now, I would only recommend these 3 brands. And you are going to want to hear every name on this list. If you're thinking about getting pregnant, if you're currently pregnant, if someone you love is pregnant, it's really important that we're doing this right. I'm Dr. Christian Gonzalez, a naturopathic doctor and somatic practitioner, and my mission is simple: protect the brain and the nervous system, because that is where health or disease begins. And if you're putting garbage into your body during pregnancy, you're not just risking your health, you are risking your babies as well. And unfortunately, nowadays, we don't have all the information we need. So today I'm exposing the truth about prenatals, who's real, who's fake, and which brands you can actually trust. All right, here's the truth. Not all prenatals are created equal. Most of what you're going to find over the counter is cheap synthetic vitamins. They look good on the label, but your body and your baby can't even use them. Aside from going over all of the prenatal brands to avoid, and you're going to be surprised by many of these, and which brands to champion, I want to teach you what's important in a prenatal. Folate versus folic acid. One is bioavailable, the other might do nothing. B12, cyanocobalamin, methylcobalamin, which one is the better form? Iodine, how much should be in there for your baby's thyroid and brain development? Why aren't prenatals adding choline to the level that is necessary for the baby? DHA, really important. We go over iron. And really beyond the nutrients, these companies, the transparency, are they testing for heavy metals, pesticides, glyphosate? Are they even giving us a certificate of analysis, or are they hiding something? Well, regardless, we're going to cover all that today. And we're going to talk about genetics too, because genetics are important. 40% of women have the MTHFR gene variant. And if you don't know what that means, it could completely change how your prenatal affects your body. Stick around, because we're going over the winners, we're going over the losers, and we're telling you how to get a prenatal vitamin. Let's start heating it up. This is where it gets spicy. We didn't just test small boutique companies. We really wanted the heavy hitters. We wanted the Rituals of the world, the Garden of Lifes, New Chapters, Mega Food, Smarty Pants, Needed, the ones that you see all over Instagram and every wellness aisle, from GNC all the way to Target, all the way to Whole Foods, wherever. And guess what? Most of these companies didn't even respond. So when I tell you that 3 brands were the only brands that passed, I really mean it. 3 brands ended up being the clear-cut winners. If my partner were to get pregnant right now, I would only recommend these 3 brands. And you are going to want to hear every name on this list. If you're thinking about getting pregnant, if you're currently pregnant, if someone you love is pregnant, it's really important that we're doing this right. So here's what we asked every company. Where are your materials sourced from? Are you using synthetic or food-based forms? What about folate, B12, iron, iodine, choline, DHA? What forms are they in? What dose are they in? Do you test for heavy metals, pesticides, glyphosate? And are those third-party tests verified through certificate of analysis? Can you provide them for us, please? Are your facilities GMP or NSF certified? Is it a quality, clean facility following a standard? Is your product organic or non-GMO? Is it free of allergens? And what is the guiding philosophy behind your company? Really, what is the ethos? What is the energy behind it? And before we get into these companies, if you love product reviews, if you want to know which brands are worth your money and which brands to stay away from, I got you covered. I've created a downloadable list of every product review I've ever done, past and present, years and years worth, updated with every investigation. It is linked right in the description of this video. It's free, it's easy, and it gives you a doctor's inside look at what brands actually deserve your trust and your money. Most companies didn't provide any information, certainly not certificates of analysis. One company provided us the information, but no certificate of analysis, unfortunately. Maybe next year. That is Protea, Protea. Unfortunately, I can't really speak more about it. We really need a third-party test to determine how pure and really safe these prenatals can be for a pregnant woman. It's really important, especially heavy metals. So on paper, looks decent. The formula looks pretty good, but I can't vouch for it, not this year. All right, so one of the top 3 companies is Pre-Natal. Pre-Natal has been around for quite a while. They've always been on my radar It's a fantastic company. So their ingredients are globally sourced, manufactured in the United States. They're produced in a GMP NSF certified facility. So you're going to get a really safe product. They have a standardization. They use bioavailable, clinically effective nutrient forms like methylfolate, methylcobalamin. This is what I'm talking about. Really important to get those quality forms in there. They use ferrochel iron, potassium iodide, vitamin D3. You're getting a comprehensive prenatal. One of the most important parts of the formula is the 400 milligrams of choline. That's a really nice therapeutic dose of the nutrient that's going to help a baby's developing brain. They also have a DHA formula in Omega DHA Plus that people couple with the prenatal that is a really nice mix. They don't have any fillers, dyes, unnecessary additives. There are 24 science-backed nutrients per serving, double of what you're going to see in many of the leading brands. What you get in there are clinically relevant dosages of iron, choline, methylated B vitamins, really important. A lot of these prenatal companies are not even getting clinically relevant dosages. You may need 5, 6, 7 of them just to get those clinically relevant dosages. It's third-party tested for purity, potency, heavy metals. Their results are publicly available. They shared it with us. They test for pesticides and even glyphosate. They have certificates of analysis available online for full transparency. And that's the next step in companies that I love supporting, when they have it online for us to be able to look at. That is a mark of a company that is really, really working for us in transparency. So it's really, really cool. I love that about Prenatal. Non-GMO, free of gluten, dairy, or soy. The formulas are staying in science. They're not moving with trends. They are staying in science, a science base. It's amazing. They also have a men's formula that I've tried out in the past, really amazing. And it's one of the companies that is backed oftentimes by a lot of the functional medicine doctors and nutrition experts. So for 2025, Prenatal is one of the best companies out there. Okay, here are companies that did not correspond with us. New chapter. The same goes with Rainbow Light. The same goes with Mega Food. The same goes with Parallel, which is a really popular one, unfortunately, but Parallel. If you don't give us the certificates of analysis, if we have no information about your company, we cannot say you are a safe company for women who are pregnant, period. Smarty Pants Vitamins, same thing. NutriBloom, Metagenics, Whole Earth and Sea, Love Mama Bird, CanPre, Theralogics. Unfortunately, none of y'all made the cut for 2025. Now, good companies, Just Ingredients. Just Ingredients went above and beyond. They have bioavailable, clinically studied forms of nutrients that are actually working in the body. They have the methylated folate, the methylcobalamin B12, and the active forms of B6 for moms who do have the MTHFR gene variant. They are taken into consideration, which is critical because a lot of conventional vitamins don't even consider this. They also use VitaCholine, which is a highly absorbable form of choline, and a plant-based DHA and EPA from algae oil that is essential for the baby's brain and eye development. On top of that, they've added probiotics, prebiotics for gut health, ginger, fruit blends for additional support. Their minerals are chelated for superior absorption. They are manufacturing in an NSF and GMP certified facility. They have full third-party testing, heavy metals, pesticides, contaminants. They're awesome. This prenatal is built on supporting women through every stage: preconception, pregnancy, and postpartum. It is transparent, bioavailable. It sounds like I'm doing an ad for them, but I'm not. I'm just speaking highly about them because thank God they're one of the few companies that responded. These are for moms who want a comprehensive bioavailable formula that has some gut support and whole food support backed by transparency. And before we go into the other companies to stay away from, I want to tell you a little about folate. You heard me talk about it. Folate is a natural bioavailable form. Folic acid is the cheap synthetic form. Now, I mentioned before, up to 40% of women carry the MTHFR gene variant. That is going to impair their ability to convert folic acid into active folate. Active folate is what your baby wants. If you can't convert it, the folic acid sits unused while the baby misses that critical protection. It needs it to avoid neural tube defects. Studies show that folate supplementation can reduce these neural tube defects by 70% when it's in the right form. So what is the right form? You want methylated folate, 5-MTHF, not folic acid, similar with B12. Cyanocobalamin versus methylcobalamin. Cyanocobalamin is cheap, synthetic, poorly absorbed. Methylcobalamin is active, ready to go, ready to use. B12 is so important for the baby, for their DNA synthesis, neurological development, and preventing maternal fatigue. Methylcobalamin in research raises B12 levels more effectively and supports fetal brain development. Double-blind placebo-controlled trials show that methylcobalamin actually raises B12 levels more effectively and will support fetal brain development. So if your prenatal doesn't have the right form of folate or B12, you may be throwing your money away. All right, other companies to stay away from 2025, EU Natural, Pure Encapsulations, Fairhaven Health, Full Well Fertility, Pure Synergy, Needed, Thorn, Ritual, Garden of Life, True Grace, Seeking Health, Birthright. Now here it is, the other top company of 2025, boom, 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 Mary Ruth Organics. Mary Ruth Organics is another fantastic standout. They use methylcobalamin as their B12. It is a bioavailable form that is supporting women who cannot process cyanocobalamin. Also, as I mentioned before, folate is the methyl tetrahydrofolate, the bioavailable usable form that 40% of women need actually. It's in the liquid form as well for people who prefer that medium. It's fantastic. They source their omegas from algae oil and focus on high DHA content. And the formulas are completely vegan. Every batch is third-party tested and must meet specific Proposition 65 thresholds, which means that they are a very clean company. And that's what you want. You want cleanliness. You want to make sure you're not exposed to heavy metals, especially when you're with a child. I had a quote from a teacher once when I was in school, in medical school. He said, one of the fastest ways to detox heavy metals is to get pregnant. Think about that. And so Mary Ruth Organics, fantastic. They also work with the Clean Label Project for additional certification. Their facilities are CGMP and GMP certified. They follow strict protocols for safety, and they openly share certificates of compliance with their consumers. They're all about transparency. Again, it sounds like an ad, but it's just me advocating. They stand on transparency, inclusivity, safety. They avoid all those cheap synthetic forms. They have clean vegan formulas that are bioavailable. This is for the moms who want a vegan, clean label formula that has strong third-party verification and who want basically every batch meeting rigorous standards of safety. Shout out to Mary Ruth Organics. Now, let me say a quick piece about some of the nutrients in prenatals. Choline, DHA, iron, iodine, and choline. Over 90% of pregnant women are deficient in these, especially choline. Choline is vital for neural tube closure, memory, cognitive wiring of the baby's brain. You want a healthy baby brain, you got to get choline. Randomized controlled trials show that higher maternal choline improves infant processing speed and memory. You want at least 450 milligrams per day. That's recommended. But higher intakes up to 900 milligrams show cognitive effects. Similar for DHA, it's an essential omega-3 for brain and eye development in children. And a meta-analysis of 70 plus studies actually showed that DHA is essential, especially at reducing preterm birth risks overall. And it actually helps improve visual and cognitive outcomes, right? It's brain, it's eyes, it's both. You want about 300 to 500 milligrams per day. Ideally, it's coming from algae oil. It's cleaner than fish. Iron, very important. It's going to prevent anemia and support oxygen delivery. Randomized controlled trials are showing iron bisglycinate is far more effective and tolerable than ferrous sulfate. So look for bisglycinate, and it's going to have fewer side effects. You want a minimum of 27 milligrams per day, but talk to your doctor. Iodine, very important for thyroid and brain in your child. The World Health Organization estimates 2 billion people worldwide are iodine deficient. And when it comes to pregnancy, that looks like lower IQ in children and developmental delays. You want 150 micrograms per day. When these essential nutrients are missing, the baby will pay the price, especially cognitively. This is why I'm saying all of this stuff. Okay, so remember, 27 companies tested, only 3 made the cut. This is not about hype. It's about science. It's about transparency. It's about supporting companies that are doing right by you. Your money talks. Where you decide to spend it really talks. And remember, if you want the full review of every product review that I've ever done, the updated list is in the description below in the show notes. As a doctor, you know my mission is simple: to protect you, your nervous system, your brain, your family's health, and really highlight companies that are supporting us and celebrate them year to year. And today was just that. We did it with Just Ingredients, Mary Ruth Organics, and We Natal. Thank you to the 3 companies that are showing up for us in the prenatal field.